Hi, here I am, the time traveler, talking about the wonderful opportunities we have as we are given more years than expected, but reminding myself and others that because life is different, we have to behave differently, or at least we have the option of behaving differently if we know. And one of the things I just was looking at, I fell into, is the topic of retirement savings, and it's really it's interesting. Of course, naturally, people at higher income have higher savings, plans, whatever they may be. What has happened, of course, through the years is, I don't know, remember when it was in the late 70s or whatever, back in the day, a large number of employers, especially large employers, had pension plans. And it was sometimes the employee contributed to it, sometimes it was 100% funded by the employer, and it was part of the benefit package. If it was a union situation, I'm sure they made their bargains. But back in the day, that was something that was part of, at least, I don't know, I read something, I could be wrong, at least 30% of the workplace, especially if you're working in the corporate economy. But of course, that was identified as a big issue because it's exposure, it's time-based exposure. You have to pay that pension through time, and that's on your books as something that you have to cough up. So somebody had the bright idea of the 401k, where basically retirement savings were shifted from the employer to the employee, and through a whole independent system that was created of the 401k, which was in the private sector, in the commercial sector, and the 403b, which is another form in the not-for-profit sector. But the idea was that the employee would set aside a portion of his wage in a 401k, a protected retirement product, which allowed them to get the benefit of investment and capital appreciation, but it was not a defined benefit program, which had been there in the past, which meant that a defined benefit, you get X amount of dollars per month, per year, per week, blank, bang, 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 into the future. So this was the opportunity for the employee himself or herself to create their own individual pot, shall we say, retirement pot of gold. And the employer could actually contribute to that, and it had taxable, again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not, giving you any kind of taxable advice or, advice in that professional capacity. But all in all, what ended up happening is that the 401k became the major vehicle that a lot of the younger baby boomers are having to deal with. Older baby boomers still, I don't know exactly, but they still might have benefited from the old pension system. And of course, that still exists, it thrives in the government sector. The employees of every level of government and financial, there is still a remainder of that very often in the public sector, of that defined benefit. But even so, now I'm not sure, but employees find themselves contributing as well these days. I'm not sure though. But just to remind us, I didn't, I think about baby boomers, well, and I should think of them as, young and vital and whatever. But the age group I saw this, I was looking at this article, in 2025, the baby boomers are 61 to 79. So we are looking at a range of situations, as I was just saying. Some of the older baby boomers may be a beneficiary of the old defined benefit pension system, but the younger ones might very well have found themselves having to use the 401k or the 403b as their self-funded retirement vehicle. So as a result of that, some of the numbers that we're looking at in terms of, at least for, this is the 401k, and this is according to Fidelity. This isn't an article that I'll give you that reference to. It's an article that I came across on this website. It's called, I don't know, hopefully they're Investopedia.com, right? So, in other words, these are things to think about, okay? But let's put it this way. The average 401k balance in the 55 to 64 category is $271,000 and change, okay? The median, the middle one, is 95,642, okay? So that means on an average is you're adding everybody up and dividing it, but by the number of people, by the N. So you can have somebody with $5,342,000 and somebody with $350 or $3,500 or $9,500, and when you add it all up, it looks like a big number. But when you look at the median, which is the midpoint, where's the high ones and where's the low ones, then you see the median is about $95,000. So, and it doesn't change dramatically according to this anyway, a little bit. 65 plus people, that's almost 300,000, 299,000 and change. That is the average. And then the median is 95,000, blah, blah, 425. Okay. So that's not a lot of money to fund a much longer retirement. So it's just something to think about as we go forward. Our need to be more cognizant, maybe. I mean, that's what I'm learning of my finances, because I need to look at what is it that I really have, what will I be needing going forward, and of course, again, there are planning tools, there are planning plans made, and then situations arise. This is not, this is the goal here is always to learn about the situation and see what would be most helpful to you in terms of your values, goals, interests, situation. But usually the more information that you can get from reputable sources, people with credentials and who know what they're talking about, it may help you to do what is in your own best interest, again, according to your lights. But we're going forward into a very interesting period where we're going to have a lot of people living a lot longer. And where will we be finding the finances to make that happen? There is a wide range of income and savings within the baby boomer population. And it will be something that we need to be thinking about. And of course, the younger generations need to think about their own savings going forward, because that is going to be their primary source of fiscal stability going forward again into a much longer lifespan than usually expected. So it's an interesting adventure. There's always something that we need to to be alerted about, but really looking at your finances in a balanced and appropriate way with the understanding that you're going to be lucky enough to live a lot longer than you expected. And how do you do that in the best possible flourishing way? Well, thanks a lot. Count your money, count your blessings, and we'll travel on with the time traveler. Thank you.